Ah, hello everyone. The light is green. Looks like we are streaming. So I'll start the stream with a little update that I wanted to share. Um, After today, I'm playing some D&D tomorrow, so I won't have any time for streaming. And after that, I'm taking a little vacation. So I'll still be drawing, enjoying my drawing and artistic stuff while I'm away, but I won't have all my streaming equipment. So this stream is going to be the last stream until probably Friday next week. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'll be gone like 6 or 7 days, which now that I say it sounds like forever, but yeah. When I come back, hopefully we'll have some line art and we'll be coloring some assets. Hey Pierre, thanks for stopping by. So that's the little update. Where's my pen? Here it is. But yeah, that starts tomorrow, so I'm gonna sit here and for at least 30 minutes, let's work on an entrance to our circus. I've kind of burnt away most of the day already, but we've got some time. We will do some drawing. It will not be a 0 day. Yeah, sorry, Brandon. It's heaps of fun. Uh, yeah. This is so if you were here yesterday, we ended the stream with a good old Photoshop crash where we lost this information. So I just went and plucked this out of the VOD, and it's good enough for a draft. So nothing lost. This I haven't actually been dwelling on this idea like I said I would, but first impression coming back, I quite like it as a entrance to the circus. I'm imagining kind of the layout of the traveling circus that kind of use the wagons as an enclosure. So it would be this as the entrance with a bunch of banners hanging down, kind of like a curtain. And then wagon, 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 kind of forming a ring around the main tent. And a bunch of game stalls and other fun stuff on the inside. That's how I imagine it. So let's just make a backup of this thingy, because I'd like to kind of distort it. Is another reason why I do my drafting in Photoshop, because it's so easy just to use perspective tools. We're definitely doing a map for our main circus tent. Where is that? Circus tent. So this one, this left-hand section is going to be a map. So it's going to be probably not the whole circus, right? But it's going to be a big 44 by 32 inch area directly in front of the main tent. And we'll have a few different variants, perhaps. I'm not sure what the variants will be yet, whether there'll be different weathers and settings or different layouts. Probably the former. And the map variants for these assets, I think we're going to do a couple of different areas within the circus. So it's not going to be like a mega map, I don't think. But it's going to be like a selection of scenes from around the circus. That's the plan, I think. So how do I feel about this as an asset? Kind of got a very strong perspective compared to everything else. I think maybe we make it a lot more top down. Like the way this one is and the way the backup is. Well, that one's just side on, isn't it? But before this, yeah, that's not nearly top down enough in my humble opinion. I think I can cheat a little bit more. We'll just shift that up, and now we've got kind of the structure. Kind of thinking some good thick structural beams. Every time I pick up this pen, I'm holding it the wrong way around. Like the curse of the USB stick where it always goes in the computer the wrong way. I think I want to get rid of these banners just in the draft. They're going to be something I freehand within the actual line art. So I just want structural beams and kind of perspective guides. Mm-hmm. I can see that the perspective is kind of janky, but my brain doesn't know why at this point. But with our circus, I'm kind of leaning into the janky 3D look because I don't want this to be a perfectly built structure. I want it to be, I want it to look kind of amateurish because they're traveling performers, not traveling carpenters, architects. Kind of the vibe I'm going for. What am I trying to do here? Thinking about, whoop, making it a bit asymmetrical. I see. Maybe these won't be like, actually, I think that makes a lot of sense. These won't be square cut beams like they just came fresh from the lumber mill. These will be like logs and with lashings holding them all together. Maybe they need some structure, right, to keep them from blowing over. Oh hum. It's annoying me that this is on its own layer, so let's combine that. I think these bits are behind the main archway. I think we'll lean all the way into that idea that this whole circus perhaps is kind of held together with duct tape, medieval duct tape. So that'll give me a lot of freedom just to build this however I like and not worry about structural integrity or whatever. And it'll just be like a lashing around there. I kind of want pillars. Maybe on all of these vertical poles so that we can attach like banners to them. That's just a very rough draft. And then here, maybe this is like instead of a triangle, they just bend a tree over. But do I want, do I prefer the triangle as a shape, artistically speaking, or do I prefer the bend? I think maybe the bend would lend itself well to the circus. It's like our cannon is all orbular rather than angular. Kind of the circus aesthetic, perhaps. So, yeah, you're very right, Pierre. Don't let me forget that. There's gonna have to be like, you know, some poles like this to hold the thing up. I'm imagining a breeze just knocking this whole thing over. Um, I think I can get rid of, oh, not that. I might back out of this idea completely if I hate it. We'll see. We'll just finish it off and then lean back and see what we think. Okay, I'll try that. Round timber framing. Hmm. All right. Yeah, this definitely helps. I'm seeing lots of shapes, which are kind of artistically interesting too. I'm kind of not enjoying this rounded shape. It just looks like needless extra work for the circus folk to bend this thing. I think just a straight beam with kind of diagonal stuff. Yeah, Phil, that's my head canon. They'll haul all the fancy circus tents and whatnot with them, but when it comes to these sort of structures, they'll just chop down some fresh trees when they get there. I'm thinking just a raised horizontal beam, log thingy. Work kind of quick and dirty right now. I'll give these kind of the appearance of hastily cut trees too. Maybe the last map we did last week, last month, Timber Brook is due to the circus folk in town. They've cut down all the trees. Okay, so let me look at my round timber framing. I'm looking at this sort of shape. Huh? How do they connect at the top? They just pass by one another. Massive twisted tree. Oh, it's a cool idea. There should be more foreshortening going on here than what I've done. And like some lashing here just to hold it all together, keep everyone safe from collapse. So this seems like a structurally sound shape. Still suffers the problem of wind blowing the whole thing over in this direction. So we'll fix that too. It reminds me of building a palisade, right? Basically the same thing, but without all of the extra pillars. We should just do a variant where it's a palisade variant. Yeah, I just need general shapes. I need to keep reminding myself that. Like, oh, I'm gonna do the details when I print this thing out, so I don't need to do too much in advance. Wait, hold on, that's wrong. Put that the wrong way around. Even if I don't use this shape for the carnival, at least we'll have something cool for a future pack, perhaps. Thanks, Pierre. Hey, James. I'm glad you could stop by for this one because I'm about to take off for a week. That's the last stream for a little while. Yeah, and I agree, Pierre. It's starting to have a nice feel for the basic shape. And then once we start putting fancy flags and stuff on it, it'll start feeling much more circusy. Maybe even like they incorporate this into the circus. So there's some like tarps coming off the back and whatnot. Hence, shade cloth. That makes sense to me. And then also in the out front, I'm thinking just freestanding banners as well. Just like a whole series of them. Make a real grand entrance. Yeah, you're right, Brandon. We're slowly finding our way. This is all new territory for me. I don't think I've ever drawn anything circus related in my life. Maybe we just like board one of them off just for the purpose of asymmetry. You know what I need is I need our little token over here. Remind me of the scale we're working with, but it looks pretty good. More foreshortening required. That's interesting. I just realized this project file is my recovered draft. So it didn't actually recover anything useful, but points for trying Photoshop. Thank you. I'm just doing a quick save. Yeah, we might put a sign up here, Phil. I kind of want to stay away from a sign because I want this circus to be kind of agnostic in that it doesn't have an official name. You can name it whatever it would be appropriate for your game. So I still want to go with this idea of instead of a sign, they just have a series of banners and all the different performers in the circus have their own banner. And then kind of the default name for the circus might be the Circus of Many Banners or something like that. I think that's cool. Kind of their philosophy is their whole gaggle of individuals and they want to celebrate that. Oh, thanks for saying so. And have a good shift. Thanks for stopping by. I'd even put one front. Let me just test it. No, I think we'll just concentrate the tops at the back and we'll concentrate the banners at the front. Because once we hang a bunch of banners from here, and in fact, that's something I didn't consider when I put the wood in, it's going to be much more interesting. Yeah, you certainly should, Pierre. I'm kind of thinking forward in my mind. When we hang a series of banners here, it's going to be a lot of detail. And if I also have flags streaming in front of them, it's gonna get quite confusing. So we might not have flags. We might have just the banners. I think between the banners and the tarps, we're going to have plenty of color and excitement going on. And these, in my mind, these banners, which I should probably draw in a separate layer. Oh, sorry to blind everyone. I think they'll be quite haphazardly arranged. Just hanging from different parts of the structure. You're an acrobat, stand up there for now. And overlapping each other too. I think this is going to be pretty cool. I also got to remind myself to do the foreshortening. They're falling away into the distance. I've just been in love with banners ever since I played Banner Saga. So finally I get to kind of express that and make something that involves a bunch of banners. I'll come back to that because before I start hanging banners from it, we need to figure out the rest of the structure. Because it's still going to blow over in a stiff wind. So I think I'll look at my round timber framing reference pictures real quick. And these all kind of stay up because it's a box at the end of the day. But for our gate, I think we do need just some diagonal support poles. Oh, that Bruce banner, I get it. Just a big green banner that says Bruce. Yeah, we definitely need more diagonal structural beams. I mean, the way we built this is all just lashed together is kind of hilariously dangerous. But I'm imagining under this beam there's a diagonal pole poking out this way, which is just hardly going to be visible. Kind of there if we could see through it. This we can assume there's something going on behind all that. Perspective we chose really doesn't lend itself well to the support beams I have in mind. Kind of all obscured. Very faintly in the background, I can hear kookaburras going off. Very Australian noise. And then maybe to go with the asymmetry, you just have like one more holding this up. Mm, I think that's probably sufficient for support. But I'm going to replace these with banners. Wood and banners laid over each other is going to be too noisy. This one's just a towel. Somebody's hung their towel up to dry. And then somebody else has hung their banner over the top. Yeah, I'm just like theory crafting. We could have another major support system going on here. With maybe a diagonal pole. Like that would add a whole bunch more stability to the whole thing. But I kind of like it already. Might go back to the support in a bit. These banners, pretty much I want them to act as a curtain. So we just want to layer them and layer them and layer them. But it is 5 p.m. here, so I don't have too much longer. I am glad to report that this is probably the last thing I need to draft on the computer, so kind of job done. Last, we've spent a lot of time this month figuring out how circuses work and look, especially the main tent, this tent, figuring this out. Figuring this out, you know, it's great fun because I love learning stuff as well as drawing stuff. So to be able to mix those two things together is awesome. But time consuming too. I start to get a little anxious sometimes when the first week of August is just about done and I haven't started drawing anything yet. We've just got drafts. I do want this window to stay open so that we can still see the structure behind everything. But this lower beam is pretty much going to be banners all the way down. Mixing kind of pointed ones and square ones and jagged ones. Keeping them just above the floor, so you do have to push through them, brush through them as you enter. I think that's very dramatic. Kind of putting my mind into the mind of whoever runs this circus. They want the visitors to feel like they're stepping through a gateway into another world. So once you step in here, you're kind of hemmed in by all the circus wagons, and there's all these colorful tents and sights and sounds and smells. And this is kind of the dramatic curtain. It's the threshold to that circus world. There's a giant spider. You probably can't see that, but a daddy longlegs just startled me as it appeared out of nowhere, and has now disappeared as well, somewhere under my desk. Glad to say it's not one of the many killer spiders in Australia, just a friendly daddy longlegs. But it does send the survival senses tingling. Oh yeah, I like that. Like maybe there is magic going on here too, so they obscure the fact that you're stepping into a demi-plane by saying, no, it's just a dramatic curtain, you know? Sorry, Brandon, I just saw your question. I'm playing like 3 games right now, so I'm a player in 2, then I run 1. But I haven't had the opportunity to run mine, sadly, in quite a while, because we have kind of a critical player who's very, very busy lately. But we have been having a blast playing the other one. I'm going to play that tomorrow, in fact, right before I take off for my little vacation. Okay, these banners are pretty cool. I think more, just more. That's what we need. And I want to lay them up in an interesting fashion. All of them kind of packed most tightest. Yeah. I'm beginning to like this a lot. And you know what? It can still double as the alternative idea we had yesterday, where it's the entrance to a orcish stronghold, and all these banners are people they've conquered. So multi-use map asset. You got your innocent purpose and your darker purpose. No, James, it's mostly a relaxing holiday, not an exciting one. It's we're not going far either. Just an opportunity to break routine and go to a new location for a while, so that it's just good for the mind, I think. Keeps things fresh. If I stick around here for too long, time starts getting all blurry. And for me, July 2021 It felt like I just dozed the whole thing away. It felt like it just vanished. Need my money back. My character I'm playing tomorrow, that's Armog, the orcish barbarian. Very almost a cliche kind of class race combo. But that's okay, because I'm playing with Troy, my brother, and his character's much more unique. So it kind of pays in that campaign to have a very bog standard character next to a very unique character. It lets him kind of shine. And it's easy for me because I just play bloodthirsty barbarian who wants to challenge everything. Hmm. That's similar to my plans. I got some books I want to catch up on, including Kingdoms and Warfare, Strongholds and Followers too, because that's been sitting on my bookshelf since it came out, but I haven't read most of it. What can I do about? Okay, I've done this in a mask, so I can bring all this detail back if need be, but we're just erasing the parts of the structure that are obscured by the banners. Yeah, I think I'm up to the warfare section too. Actually, I've read most of the way through. I got all the way up to the fortification section, and then I got distracted because I'm like, oh, I need to draw some of these. And that's as far as I got. I can show those off probably. Mm, they're not in my recent list, but yeah, I'll show them off. Well, here's a mock-up. You might have seen this. So I drew some of these. They're kind of like cards that you can print out and use as fortifications on the Kingdoms and Warfare game mat. Here's another mock-up. So those are the cards that I drew so far. Just a little side project I did. So what I'm excited to do is, I don't even need to read through the warfare section for this, but I'm excited to take the factions in my game and convert them into Kingdoms and Warfare domains. Because I've had my own kind of system for tracking those sorts of NPC actions, but my system's very very primitive compared to the system they've thought up. So I'm excited to make the conversion. Yeah, no, definitely give it a purchase. It's some great content. And you can download the assets I made from their subreddit if you're keen. I don't want to share it on 2 Minute Tabletop unless I can get their explicit permission, because they invented those fortifications and that game board, so I don't want to use it commercially at all. But it may also come to 2 Minute Tabletop, who knows. If they do give me permission, I'm keen to make like a proper set and a whole battle map and everything. All right. Quite like this. Some of them are kind of breaking the perspective. Yeah, I'm digging it too. Like, maybe it looks more orcish to me right now, but I think when we put in a whole bunch of vibrant colors, it's going to look very circusy. Oh yeah, James, I just saw your comment on a modular base building pack. Ever since I bought Stronghold and Followers, that's been on my list of projects I want to tackle, but I haven't got to it yet, sadly. But I definitely want to do something like that. Player bases is something I've been a big fan of since I started playing D&D. I think that's one of the coolest parts of the game is being able to build anything you can imagine, you know? The whole game takes place in your imagination. Why not? And yeah, making an asset pack that can kind of let you custom build a castle or something be awesome. Oh, thanks, Matthew. Yeah, even as I zoom out, it also looks cool. Just gonna fix up a bit of perspective issues, and then it's pretty much ready to print. Just strengthening the foreshortening, which hasn't really come naturally to me this particular day. But it's cool. And I can still see opportunity on like this pole to hang a billowing flag or something. But I may reserve our billowing flag for the main tent. Because I'm imagining once you start building your own custom circus map and you've got all these billowing flags pointed different directions, it's going to look quite strange. So we might just have a big flag here and not here. Just leave these banners to hang and be obedient. But I do want like a series of banners. We want more banners. So like freestanding banners. Hmm. That's cool. Casino base. Yeah, the few magical um bases that you can have, those are kind of where I want to start. Basic D&D available stuff. I think the most people will get the most use out of those. I think that's probably just about enough. Or I One of these days I'll learn to talk and draw at the same time. There's probably enough banners for the main structure, and now I'm thinking freestanding banners too. Just kind of on stakes, I guess. Poles. So we can layer it up even more. losing losing the shape of our structure, but I think that's kind of cool. Get rid of these. These were just drafts anyway. Drafts of drafts. Imagining kind of a corridor that you walk down with all these banners along the side. They're going to need wagons and wagons just to carry the banners. I imagine there's arguments that take place, and people are like, certain performers like, yo, why did you put your big banner in front of my banner? Now nobody can see my banner. Cool. These banners are kind of small, I just realized, because here's our token. We might, now that I'm looking at the whole thing, we might just upscale it like 1.5 or 2 times as big. I'd be interested to see it next to this as well. And if you weren't here for the stream, we're going to do a similar idea on the and around the entrance of the main tent. Just more banners. Okay, if I'm going to do that, I have to do some trickery with my layers. Maybe. Like we want our elephant to be able to fit through. I guess there's space. We've got elephant clearance. We definitely want our cart to be able to fit through, which is kind of 15 foot wide. It'll be a tight fit. I like it, James. Maybe the performers all kind of walk around wearing banners as cloaks and capes. They're all like immensely proud of the particular guild they're a part of. Maybe this is like a meta circus where like once every 10 years a whole bunch of different circuses all convene for a mega circus, and then it's just banners for days. And there's like, so maybe all these banners are like personal banners. Every performer has a personal banner. And then there's also the bigger banners are like guild banners. That's a good excuse to have so many. But that said, I've got to go. I like this. I'm going to do some final tweaks off camera. Then next time I stream, I don't know what we'll be doing because it'll be a week from now. So an extra big thank you to everyone who keeps stopping by and yeah, keeping me company, lending me your good ideas, introducing me to round timber framing, etc., etc. we've got some pretty solid drafts so far, and I'm excited to work on them. And honest, it's going to be a very colorful month, so I'm excited to see what it all comes out like at the end. Oh, we need lights too. A bunch of lights, perhaps. We'll see. Yeah, I can't tell you where we'll be when I next return. So, as I said, big thank you to everyone. It's a lot of fun doing these streams. And I will be back as soon as I'm back at this workspace, which will be in about 7 days. So I hope you'll have a good week. And yeah, see you next time.